Today we have a few stories to go over, the first of which being the stock, and you'll see this movement here as a result of, I believe, the Russell 3000 induction, which Palantir did get inducted. That's the first story I'll go over today. But first, I just want to mention that the stock hit an intraday high of $27.01, just barely getting over the 27 mark for the first time since, if we take a look back at the 6-month chart, it looks like mid-March here, or considerably since back in mid-February. So the recovery is complete in my opinion, bouncing 45% off of the low that is shown here. I calculated earlier today. It's about 65% a bounce from the low of exactly $16.35 that came on May 11th, pre-market before the earnings were announced. So anyway, just thought I would share that. Palantir stock has officially, in my opinion, recovered from the major sell-off and a big FUD panic attack that us investors faced. So getting started, as I said, the first story being the Russell 3000 induction did happen, and that was the end. That was the closing cross today for Palantir. You could take a look at a little spike of volume there. Let me actually get to the one-day chart so that actually makes sense. Much like Tesla got inducted into the S&P 500, Palantir's induction into the Russell 3000, albeit much smaller and less significant, just basically means the funds have to have a weighting now of Palantir. It is one among 3,000 different institutions in the index, so nothing major once again, but it means that there will be a lot more passive buying into Palantir, which is nothing but a good thing. And here's someone on Reddit noticing $65 million purchase at close. And they're saying, why is this happening? Can someone explain? Is it the Russell 3000 buying shares? Since the volume today was 138 million versus the $45 million average. Well, just to give some commentary on that, I do think the volume has been higher more recently. And yes, the Russell 3000 is, in my opinion, the reason for that purchase, because they do purchases at the close. The transition period is from the close of the market on Friday into the open of the market on Monday, and that's when Palantir is officially in. So the funds and the indexes get the go-ahead to buy on Friday at 4 p.m. so that they have the correct weighting of Palantir or any other stock that gets inducted. All right, and on to the news. We've got a few stories. I'm going to talk about this. Palantir getting used in South Asia. Sankar showing up on the closing bell show for CNBC yesterday, so I want to play that clip. And I also have something here from Palantir Daily about Foundry in Japan, and a little bit about advertising that I want to go over towards the end of this episode. So let's get started. So Palantir sending out this tweet this morning talking about economic development zones for nations in Southeast Asia. And they call out a partner who is using Palantir to assess their impact and uncover these zones. So great to see that Palantir is very much a global company. Their products are used all over the world. We already knew this, but good to see them just calling out a partner that is using their product very much far away from the headquarters in Colorado. So now we have Sankar on closing bell. He did a very good job here. It's only about 2 minutes, but I love hearing him talk about Palantir. He is the most well-spoken in my opinion. Of course, Alex Karp is a crowd favorite. There's no denying that, and I love to hear him talk as well, but Sham is pretty much the best one to go to when it comes to any sort of operational questions, and that is, of course, because he is the operational officer for Palantir. So this is him explaining and following up on some pretty good questions, I'd say, from the anchors on CNBC about what the whole deal is with DataRobot. Have a listen.
Shares of Palantir are up 25% in the past month and ticking higher today after announcing a new partnership with AI platform DataRobot. The two companies will work together to help solve demand forecasting problems faced by retail business customers. The announcement comes after the FAA hired Palantir to support its aircraft certification and operational safety activities. So I wanted to hit on this partnership with DataRobot first of all. To what extent is this helping you in an area that you're already working on? I mean, is this not already what you do? Why do you need a partner in this space?
Well, we've been working in the field very closely with DataRobot over the years to deliver value to customers, including throughout the pandemic. And it really marries the best of both products and both companies, our ability to bring together large amounts of disparate data very, very quickly, put that into operational applications for end users, and their ability to bring together the best of AI modeling and put that into the hands of folks who need those predictions on a real-time basis. And as we enter this reopening phase, this is crucial. Retailers had a really tough go of it. How do we help? It kind of made fools of historical heuristical demand forecasts. This is an opportunity for transformation to reopen in a much stronger footing.
Does it also signal that you intend to make a much bigger push into retail and corporate customers in the next few years?
Yeah, our commercial business has been growing very strongly. We had roughly 70% growth last quarter year over year. We're going to continue investing in the commercial business. We see retail as a key area amongst many others. We're in 40 industries, from energy to mining and financial services to life sciences, and we're continuing to invest in all of them.
So just on this deal, Shyam, still, what does it do to the potential market size and the potential reach of customers that you can get? Does it widen it? And if so, by how much?
I think it expands it dramatically. The key thing here, there are really two key things. One is time to value. How can you get AI to make sense and have an economic impact on your business quickly? That's one piece of it. The other piece of it here is offering end-to-end solutions that are highly opinionated, that build on the back of the 15 years of R&D that we've really done, and getting those tools into the hands of the frontline factory worker, of the person who's otherwise installing rivets, and keeping it beyond the confines of just the back office data scientist.
And now moving on to something that Palantir Daily on Twitter uncovered. He's calling out Foundry ERP Suite being offered in Japan. It's pretty much just a nice graphic here showing what the ERP Suite is capable of. It says immediately use out-of-the-box workflows for inventory, cost of goods sold, supply chain, and more. The reason I'm bringing this up is because he followed up with two images here. The first being a consumer for an energy industry. They say an energy super major deployed our ERP suite in hours. Within 2 weeks, they generated $57 million of cash savings and expect to generate $1 billion on an annualized basis. So this is kind of going back to the whole topic of Foundry impact, Palantir impact in general, and how effective their solutions, their platforms, their products are. So it's great to see that. Let's take a look at this second one here. A Fortune 100 consumer goods company deployed ERPs to quickly respond to COVID-related disruptions. And they bring up a figure of $100 million plus spent on prior ERP solutions. So I'm assuming the impact here being that Foundry came in much less than that. But anyway, it looks like he just responded with the link. So let's open this up. This is news to me. We have Palantir founding Palantir Japan in 2019, and then this support for the pandemic in 2020. That's what they're showing here. This is the first time I've seen this website. It looks like this is based around the ERP suite in general. So creating value in days, not years. Okay, so this is where he got the information. So I will leave the link to this very interesting website. I'm glad Palantir put this together. It's always awesome when they give us a better look into their product and a little bit behind the scenes showing the impact. All right, again, I'll leave the link to that in the description so you can continue to check it out on your own, but I'm glad that we now have access to this. And last thing for today is just a little bit of a discussion on my end. Now that we've seen two instances, at least, that Palantir is doing a bit of advertising. So here we have this first full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal 2 days ago. Our software helps the military find IEDs in the desert. It can spot landmines in your enterprise. They also go on to say serving 40 industries and sectors worldwide. Foundational software of tomorrow delivered today. So I think this is targeted at business owners, business executives, those that would be capable and willing to onboard Foundry into their business. So I don't think this is a consumer advertisement. I don't think they are saying come buy our stock. Currently they do not have a consumer product, so I do think this is a ad targeting those that would see this in the Wall Street Journal, although the Wall Street Journal may be an outdated way of advertising in my opinion. Anyway, I believe this is targeted at executives, business executives, as well as just the Palantir brand and the Palantir brand image, because someone seeing this would naturally want to learn more about Palantir, which could then lead them to wanting to buy the stock or any number of other good things for the business. But again, traditionally you do not see these sort of non-consumer companies advertising in consumer ways. On Twitter here we have Chad Palantard saying, have you seen Palantir Tech promoting ads on Twitter lately? Most people saying no, some people saying yes. This is only 22 votes, however. I said I had not. I said I hope they aren't doing that sort of advertising, because if I was seeing that and I'm not the target audience, then that would be a waste of money and funding. and resources. But he pulled it up and shared it with me, and sure enough, if we take a look at this, it says Twitter for advertisers here, meaning that they were indeed advertising this. And if we just see what this tweet actually is, it says we had pre-built the software to deal with that type of dislocation at scale. So this is from one of Karp's recent interviews, and it's kind of tying back to the idea that Palantir is ahead of the curve, 5 years ahead as they like to call it. They were ahead, they were prepared for responding to the pandemic before the pandemic even happened with Foundry. So of course it's good to flaunt something like that because they deserve it. They've built out their product over nearly 2 decades and it is just now becoming widely necessary. But I'm not sure how much interaction they're actually getting here. 38 likes, 3 retweets, and 1 quote. Someone saying, where can I send him a comb or a brush? I don't know if that person understands, but the entropy of Karp's hair is actually correlated with the stock price, so we do not want to get him a comb. Anyways, I thought I would just close out this video by saying I'm a little confused by the advertising here. It doesn't necessarily concern me, considering it looks like they're just playing around and getting a feel for how advertising would work. I don't think they've made any huge commitments. It's nice to see this as a shareholder. It's good for the brand, as I said, but I don't think they should get too involved with advertising. I think their demo days, their double-click events should speak for themselves, and that Palantir should invest any money that they would like to advertise and actually put that back in the business into R&D. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I do also believe they had a billboard at one point, but I think that was a while back. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. Looks like Palantir closed at officially $26.78, almost up 1% on the day, falling a little in after hours, but the rally continues. Until next time.